Finally, a reason for England supporters to smile. They registered their second win, a massive one, this one, against Netherlands, who had slowly started to make a reputation as a giant killer. It wasn't to be. The Dutch orange looked pale as the English spinners cast a web around them and beat the Dutch by 160 runs. Cricbuzz Live. It is Dinesh Karthik and Joy Bhattacharjya in the house. A quick look at the summary will tell you England 339 on the back of a fantastic 100 from Ben Stokes. Runs for David Malan as well. Up top, Chris Woakes contributing 51, coming in at number 8. Netherlands well, they did see Tejani Damanuru hit a few big ones, 41 not out. Scott Edwards only 30. It looked threatening at one stage. Wesley Baresi hit a few big shots as well, but then 37 of 62 was never going to do the job while they were chasing 340. 3 wickets apiece for Moeen Ali and Adil Rashid. A couple for David Willey as well. England win by 160 runs. Just the kind of outing England needed to calm those worried nerves, because that Champions Trophy slot now looks well within possibility.
Pretty sad to say that, you know, at the end of
It's come down to this.
Yeah. It's rather sad, actually. It's not a team which should be competing for a spot in Champions Trophy. Yeah. They're one of those who should well and truly be there and thinking of how to win that tournament along with this World Cup. But yeah, these last 3 weeks haven't been great for them. And today was a day when they showcased a little bit of what they have in the tank. And you can see they're a proper cricket team. When they come good, they can beat and demolish teams. And, you know, Netherlands were in their way today and they made sure to show how good they can be.
You know, Adil Rashid and Moeen Ali ensured that Joy Bhattacharya couldn't finish his dinner. But England, perhaps a bit like, you know, this team seems to have all the ingredients. Just that the recipe wasn't working out, Joy, which it did today.
Look, yeah, I think exactly what I was thinking. That, you know, what England would have thought is we have the fast bowlers who can make an impact up front. Chris Woakes swings it up front. David Willey swings it up front. We have that really fast 150 plus bowler in the middle, Mark Wood. And we have two decent spinners, Moeen Ali. And Moeen Ali, you know, after they were, you know, wondering whether he was a part of the one-day squad, but they got him there. Moeen and Adil, they thought, would play a big part out here. It didn't turn out that way, as it said in the tournament, but today England played their game. The England bowling attack did exactly what England is normally supposed to do. Seamers up front, a bit of swing there, getting a couple of early wickets, and then the spinners having a stranglehold in the middle. So it worked. This was the formula England was meant to use over 8 matches. It's come good just today.
Now, opinion makers, a lot of neutral observers, perhaps looking at this, watching this match and looking at the scorecard, would say, listen, hang on, we were perhaps overthinking England's troubles. It was just a case of things not clicking, just players out of form. Maybe there isn't so much wrong with this side. When things start to click, everything looks good.
There isn't anything wrong with the side. As I said, if I have to pick a World Cup squad again for England, I'd pretty much pick the same squad. And not that I'm a decision maker there, but I'm just saying when I look at the squad, it looks like a solid squad. It's a squad which has won T20 tournaments, the previous World Cup, majority of them have played. You know, when things go wrong, a lot of people like Joy and me sitting here will have a lot of opinions about how it needs to be done. Though I feel that apart from the fact that they haven't fired in the tournament, which is understandable, there isn't nothing too wrong except what Joyda alluded to in the pre-show. He said that maybe their scheduling could have been a little different. Could they have played more matches? Maybe. But again, in that same column of the number of matches played by other teams, there is South Africa who played lesser than them, but have done much better than them. And England, if you see, interestingly have a lot more experience, which tells me that it's okay if they play a lot lesser because these guys know what it is to play in big tournaments. South Africa, on the other hand, have a very young team, and he rightly said they could have needed to play more matches, but they didn't. So at the end of the day, they've turned up for a tournament and they have done well, South Africa. England have turned up for a tournament and have just slept through most of it. And, you know, we know that it's not been a good tournament for them. But do they deserve a place in the Champions Trophy? For sure. And I think they'll be quite the team again. But has it been a very ordinary World Cup? Yeah, I think they would reflect on it. And I think some of their players have come out and said very honestly about what they feel they have done. Like Mark Wood, who said that, you know, they've provided the same thing that they've provided in the last 4-5 years. And we've won tournaments doing that. We haven't done well here. Moeen Ali, same thing.
Yes, with this win, they've gone up to number 7. So it's almost like playing a Super Mario game and somehow gobbling up a mushroom that gives them height, stature, speed, all that. They're now at number 7. Remember, only 8 will qualify, so 7 plus Pakistan. and they've got that cushion of that extra spot. Bangladesh at 8, and England have one more game left, which is against Pakistan. That will be their last league game. So Champions Trophy pretty much sealed for them.
Yeah, but if you look at it that way, all those four are going to play that last one match. Okay, all four teams have the opportunity to get to 6 points. If you remember, 7, 8, 9, 10 are all sitting on 6. They can all go to 8 points. So what that means is basically the last match is going to be critical for all the teams. All things equal, England has a slightly better chance because their run rate is slightly better. So if England win, they're in a slightly better position. So England's fate is more in their hands than in anybody else's.
Joy, I hate to remind you of South Africa 2009, but you've been a part of a team that's lost a lot and a team that's won a lot. When things are going wrong, even a single win can make a world of a difference to the mood in the camp. Body language is better, people are smiling more. The air is much lighter in the dressing room, isn't it?
There will be a sense of relief. Look, because it's now too late in the tournament for a turnaround in this tournament.
Yeah.
This tournament is over, they're eliminated already.
Yeah.
But there's a sense of relief. And you see, the tough period is when you've lost 3-4 matches, don't think you're going to go, you're 6 or 7. And then the tournament seems to go on and on and on. Now they're saying the end is in sight. There's one more match to go. They're going to just play it calmly. They want to have a good match against Pakistan to end up. I think it's England and Pakistan. So they want to eliminate, they have the right to eliminate one of the teams themselves. And I think that's what they want to do. They want to end in a good note. And I think they have a lot to think about. But I'll tell you what, for me, the one England match which stood out, I think it was the one where they played South Africa, where they suddenly changed their entire philosophy of being a side of all-rounders to one where David Willey was batting at 7.
They dropped 3 all-rounders, I think.
They dropped Liam Livingstone, they dropped Moeen Ali, they dropped Sam Curran. Yeah. And at one go, they became a team which was a totally different formation in the way they played.
Yeah.
And I think from that match, for me, that match was a funny one because till then you have a philosophy. It may work, it may not work. It happens. Sometimes you don't fire. Yeah. But that was a one match where they totally changed their philosophy. It was a mess. And then they went back to it, which I just didn't understand. That was the one point of their campaign I didn't understand. The rest of it can happen to any team. The best of teams it can happen to.
Yep. DK, you've been a part of unsuccessful ODI World Cup side as well in 2007. Us on the outside will never know the pain and the trouble that players go through, especially a big team like India or in England when things are just not going right. And it's unfair for people on the outside to take digs at players because they feel as much hurt as those on the outside do. So it must have been really difficult for England.
They feel more hurt. You've got to understand their pride, the fact that they've prepared a certain way in the lead up to a World Cup, and it's every cricketer's dream who's representing their nation in a World Cup to go ahead and win a World Cup. I think cricket is still a sport which is in many ways not as brutal as like a football or an Olympics dream, because that really is 1 in 4. In ODI, you get 1 in 4, but then you still have some World Cups coming through. You still have a chance of retribution. But I think the pain in the players, you can see Joss Butler's speech post the man of the match ceremony, and the post-match ceremony when he said that, I'm really hurting for the fans, for all the people that supported us so through thick and thin, and it is the toughest part of dealing with this. And you can understand where he's coming from, and he's been a leader, he's found success, and then he's finding these tough moments to deal with, and it can be a lot to deal with. So I'm happy for Joss Butler. It's good that they won. He's not been in the best of form, but it's good to see the team getting across the line. But I can also tell you that 2007 World Cup, the situation was very, very hard on us. People were worried to come back to India, because at times, people were, they were burning effigies, they were throwing stones at your houses and things like that. India is a very emotional country, and it's understandable. But England is very different as a country. They're a lot more, the way they deal with these kind of things is a lot different. But the pain in the players will pretty much be the same, because at the end of the day, you're representing the country and you want to do well.
The English media isn't easy to deal with.
The English media isn't easy to deal with, but I totally agree with DK. Do not compare India cricket with England cricket. I mean, the level of what reactions we have in India is 10 times to 100 times. See, our cricket in their country is equivalent to their football.
Yes.
But even in their football,
it's not
their fans are mad, but they don't get, people don't come and try to burn homes.
Yeah.
That doesn't happen. But in India, in 2007, what happened in the aftermath of 2007 is something every Indian cricket fan should be ashamed of the way some of those players were targeted. It was just... So I'm saying, yeah, it's tough on Josh Butler, but don't make it as tough as what it was for our Indian cricketers in 2006.
For now, though, we'll focus on the England story. It's a happy story, so let's talk about happier things. And it took their talisman Ben Stokes to put his hand up and say, "Listen, I don't know if he's going to play that Champions Trophy 2 years later, but if this is going to be his last lap in white ball cricket, he better do something special to at least give them a Champions Trophy spot." And he put his hand up, and that 100 he will be very, very relieved with.
Under pressure, over a period of 6 to 8 years, the man that they turn to with the bat more often than not is Ben Stokes. Be it Test match, be it T20, now the ODIs. It is just a role that he's just taken to fish in water. He's just been very comfortable doing it, very comfortable in his skin. He knows the method. He just goes about it in a very, very subtle manner at the start. And then once he gets going, he is Ben Stokes and we know what he can do. Yet again, proving to the world why he's so valuable, and I just feel very happy when he does well because he's quite the cricketer. He's the kind of cricketer you want to have in your team who would just run through a brick wall if you want him to, and it's good to have characters like that around the team.
Right, at the presentation he said more pleased with the victory than scoring a century.
Look, Stokes is at the stage of his career where it doesn't matter. You know, one ODI century is not going to. I think it's his first World Cup. Is it?
First World Cup. Fifth ODI 100, first in the World Cup.
So if you see fifth ODI 100 compared to, in India, we are obsessed with figures and stats. It's nothing. It's nothing. But in terms of really what impact he has in the team, especially in important tournaments, in crucial moments, and Ben Stokes is the talisman. So you can clearly, by the way he's played his career, you can make out that he has zero interest in numbers and those kind of things. They don't interest him.
Yep.
But getting his team across the line is something he has done with consistency over the past 6, 7, 8 years. And I think he's a fantastic cricketer. And I'll tell you that's one thing that, even when you go to teams, especially in the IPL where you have a choice, national teams, you don't have that much of a choice. But people will tell you that that's a guy I want. And you can't justify it with numbers and all, but those are the kind of guys you want to be on the same side with.
Yeah.
You don't want him on the other side, you want him on your side. Ben Stokes is one of those guys.
Well, Ben Stokes had Chris Woakes on his side in that 129-run partnership, which helped them go up to 339. Woakes had a pretty good day, a 51 coming in at 8 and a wicket as well, set the tone with the ball. Great outing for him.
He could have easily picked up 2. He got a nick early on. It just went between Root and Butler, but quite the spell that he bowled first up.
Yeah.
Took a lovely catch of David Willey's bowling at the back end. So it's been a very, very good day for Woakes. He's retiring post this World Cup for sure. Yeah, and probably he'll be playing his next game in Calcutta. He's been a cricketer who England have thoroughly been very happy with over a period of time. They've leaned on him for the first spell consistently, and he has delivered. And he's been a brilliant servant for them. You take test matches in the Ashes, he came, he did his part. 2019 World Cup, he was around. 2022 World Cup, the first spell he bowled against India, and in the final, look, he's a gun cricketer. He's somebody who can contribute to the bat, ball and field, and most importantly, a very respected man in that dressing room.
Yeah.
They all, have a lot of time for him, and if he speaks in the meetings, apparently people just stand up and wait for him to say what he has to say, because there's a lot of weight to what he has to say. So, quite a cricketer. I think somebody who's done well for England for some period of time, and he'll go down as one of the better cricketers England have had over a period of time.
Yes, well, Stokes and Woakes contributing to the second W for England. The other W did very well as well. David Willey, a couple of wickets, got rid of Ackerman and Engelbrecht.
I think he did well. I mean, David Willey, especially up front, was bringing the ball back, shaping the ball back, and the advantage of a David Willey shaping the ball back means that when he gets that shape, then they are forced to play inside the line, and therefore they tend to nick off more. So every time you get a little bit of movement, he looks a much better bowler. And so far they've not been getting it. Today was one of the few days where both Willey and Woakes were getting movement. And I think it bodes well for the English team. I was also thinking, was Woakes in Calcutta? Was it in Calcutta that Woakes, that RCB were all out for 49? I think it was Calcutta.
He played for,
He played for Kolkata then. So it's a place where he's bowled some pretty good swing for a while. So, yeah, he'll enjoy finishing his one-day career there if he does.
Well, it was Willey and Woakes that took care of the top order, and then it was up to the spinners. His bowling card will tell you that Adil Rashid and Moeen Ali picked up 3 wickets each. Rashid, a touch expensive, but he wouldn't mind that because he sort of bought those 3 wickets, giving away 54. I suppose Netherlands were tested against pretty good quality spin bowling today.
No doubt about that. Look, I think Adil Rashid has been their best bowler in this World Cup. He's been consistent from ball 1. He has been brilliant. Every game he's performed. He is definitely going to play a lot more white ball cricket for England because he is able to handle pressure. No matter how big the game, he is able to bring a calm head to the bowling attack, and he's doing a good job over a period of time. Yet again in this World Cup, he has been the one guy who has not let Joss Butler down at any point during this tournament. Phenomenal. I'm very happy for both Moeen Ali and Adil Rashid because not often have they bowled together in this tournament, and it's good to see them. They're very, very close friends off the field as well, and the fact that they've done well together will put a smile on their faces. They both require it, and with everything that's happening around, ODI cricket in England right now, it is good to see both these older pros do so well.
Well, when Netherlands came out to bat again, 340 to chase, under lights, Willie and Woakes on song as well. They were 2 down very quickly, and this batting card will tell you, Joy, that they were never really in the chase. They lost their captain, Scott Edwards, on the score of 163, I think it was. Yes, it was 163 for 6. They were just not in the chase because not one guy played that long innings that you need.
No, I think two things. A is the long innings that you need. Second is just the pressure of having that much of a target, 339 was too big a target for them. They just didn't have the... So once you're, 23 in your first 10 overs, for 2 down for 23 in your first 10 overs, then you're always... So every other batsman is under pressure. So by the time the spinner comes on, remember Adil Rashid came on only later. They brought him in only in the 21st over. By that time, the run rate has already gone up past 10. So what it means is they will take risks against him. They did. They got some runs, but obviously they lost a lot of wickets as well.
Chasing was going to be difficult. It takes a while, I suppose, DK, to have or acquire that kind of batting maturity or chasing maturity. Is a completely different world from batting first?
No doubt about it. Batting second is completely different. And Pune is a very challenging venue with the new ball because it swings a lot. And they exposed the Netherlands skill in terms of how they battle swing up front. There wasn't any seam movement, but you could see the skill of Woakes and Willie coming through. 23 in the first 10 is obviously, the game is done and dusted there and then and there. And after that, it was only a matter of when rather than how. So they just got the job done. The batters obviously tried a few shots, not much coming off. The spinners put the stranglehold on them, but it was started by Woakes and Willie, and it was a really good spell. A spell which showed the world why the skills of bowling with a new ball and swinging the new ball can be really hard for opening batters. And if you're coming from an associate nations, you don't play that kind of skill that often.
Yes, there was a run out today as well, Joy, and I suppose things like these, Baresi run out today, I think there were 4 run outs against Bangladesh. These things, I suppose teams take a while to figure their way around how to chase, basic silly errors not happening.
Look, you had Malan also made a very stupid decision, just pushed it and went. But no, you are right. Also remember, associate nations do not have a chance to play that much together as well. They are sort of put together as a team, played this tournament. But remember, even when they played the qualification tournament, 5 of these players were not there.
Yeah.
So, you have to remember all that. So they don't get that much game time situations as we think they do. And that also tells you, these things are bound to happen. And I think, look, they've been a very... It's a very simple thing, as DK says, that this is your potential. Have they played to their potential? I think they have.
Yeah.
But there are days where somebody else is going to have a much better team than you, and the result, it's not every day that you're going to make an upset against a better team. I thought they played this tournament very well.
Yeah.
I thought the Bangladesh win was big. I thought the South Africa win was superb. But yeah, how often will that happen?
2 wins at the World Cup for the first time. They've done it in T20 World Cups, but to beat bigger teams in a much longer format, surely they are a much better force now than they have been over the years. Netherlands, they've at least competed well against top-tier teams.
If you take the first half of this tournament, they'll be really proud of what they've done. I think the first 6 games, they were very, very good. Obviously, if you see how their tournament has gone, 2 wins, but even the first 2 games, Pakistan and New Zealand, even though it looks like they've lost by a big margin, there were times when they were pushing the opponent. But they were blown away in the game against Australia and today against England, and Afghanistan was a poor game for them. So I'm very, very happy with how Netherlands have gone about things. I think, and I also say that only because there have been teams which have been playing cricket for a much longer time and have had a very ordinary tournament compared to Netherlands. And hence I feel they have punched above their weight, and they should feel really proud of themselves, and they've found a way to match shoulder to shoulder in a couple of occasions, and that's good to see.
There's one thing, M word, remember we banned a few M words out here. So, momentum was one word that we banned. Well, I want to ban one more word, given, what Afghanistan has done in this tournament. Minnows. That word minnows should be out of here. These guys deserve to compete in the kinds of best. They've shown they can beat the top teams in the world. And I think that's fantastic. There's no team now who should be referred to as a minnow anymore. If you qualify for a World Cup, you're not a minnow. And both Netherlands and Afghanistan, of course, didn't have to qualify, they were already there, showed us why they were so class.
And this tournament has been richer thanks to teams like Netherlands who've upset or, as Arsha Bhugle says, offered us contra results against the more fancy, the more experienced teams. All 10 teams have played 8 matches. The last round of matches begins tomorrow. Match number 41 in Bengaluru. It's New Zealand versus Sri Lanka. Now, let's set this up for you because it's a big one for New Zealand. They've won 4 and they've lost the last 4. So their campaign has sort of gone off track. Let's set this up for you with a look at the points table. Why is this match so important for New Zealand? Sri Lanka are looking at a Champions Trophy spot. So let's bring up that points table. Yeah, there it is. And Joy Bhattacharjya will tell us why New Zealand have to win tomorrow.
So New Zealand basically need to win to get to 10 points because 10 points, if they get to 10 points, they have that plus 0.398 run rate. So it'll keep them to safety.
Yep.
The only 2 teams who can catch them up at this point in time are Pakistan and Afghanistan.
Yep.
They have an advantage against both in terms of run rate. Afghanistan is very far behind in run rate. So Afghanistan is going to struggle even if they win that last match. And I think Afghanistan's last match is against Australia.
Against South Africa and
South
Ahmedabad.
Africa.
We'll bring up that match schedule as well. South Africa play Afghanistan.
Pakistan play England.
England in Kolkata.
Pakistan play England in Kolkata. The only advantage Pakistan has is if New Zealand wins tomorrow, okay, whatever margin they win by, Pakistan will know what to do on the last day. But it's going to be very, very difficult odds. For Pakistan to have a realistic chance of qualifying, New Zealand must lose tomorrow.
Rain will not help. Pakistan are hoping for rain. But
Rain will help
have
for
to have
sure.
a full game.
Rain will help for sure for Pakistan if New Zealand match is washed out.
Yeah.
If rain comes for Pakistan match, it's definitely not going to help. But yes, tomorrow, obviously, the beauty of this tournament somehow has been the fact that every game has had some context or the other. First, it was trying to qualify for the semis, and suddenly this Champions Trophy came along, and everybody's like, wow, there's something to play for. This game could have been a very, very quiet game in terms of what it meant to the tournament, but there was a team which was playing for Champions Trophy admission, and it was good to see that happening, and hence this tournament, the last leg, the last 5 games to go, again has a lot of context.
Well, New Zealand lost despite scoring 400 against Pakistan. It was Duckworth, Lewis and Stern, that trio that helped Pakistan. Of course, Fakhar Zaman, that magical 100 as well. The selection of Ish Sodhi backfired. So let's pull up the New Zealand squad to figure what they can do. Remember, they are playing in Bengaluru once again. And Lockie Ferguson, I've been told, is fit and available to be picked. So would you make that change? Bolt hasn't had a great World Cup. What would you do, Joy?
I would definitely go straight Lockie for Ish Sodhi straight off. Straight off, I'd take that substitution 100%. Against a Sri Lankan side, I would go in with the faster bowler. Definitely, if you look at the rest of the team, there is not very much more you can change if you want to. I mean, Williamson coming back, he immediately came back and got runs instead of Will Young. Conway is okay. Glenn Phillips, as I said, I feel sometimes he's batted a bit low, but I don't know how they can move him up the order given the other batsmen out there. Look, this is a set team. They played to their potential. I mean, the last match, if you score 400 and lose because of, there's not very much you can do. So I think Lockie definitely in. I don't see any other changes.
For you?
Same thing.
Same thing. Okay. Let's move on to Sri Lanka. They had a very controversial outing against Bangladesh. That Angelo Matthew Shakib Al Hasan hopefully will be left behind. Let's not talk any more about that. Sri Lanka played their last league game. It just hasn't worked out for them. But you want to end this World Cup on a winning note and help their fellow Asian team Pakistan by beating New Zealand.
Look, irrespective of whether they help Pakistan or not, they need to help themselves. I think they need a win. There's a lot of turmoil happening in the association right now as we're speaking here. So those things never help. But at this point of time, they need a win. It just feels like they've had a very, very ordinary tournament.
Yep. Sri Lanka played really well in that last game. Runs are not coming up top. So if we could bring up that Sri Lanka squad, Joy, would you make that change? Would you maybe bring back Dimuthu Karunaratne in for the struggling Kusal Pereira?
Last match, I'm honest, yeah, Kushal Pereira has given us nothing at this point in time. Yep. But in the last match to make a change, I'm just thinking, I was thinking, looking at the fast bowlers and saying if there's anywhere else they can go, but I don't think Velalage, this is the kind of surface you play Velalage or Hemanta. Maybe they think of Hemanta, but I won't think so. There's no other change that comes to my head.
How about Velalage in for Tikshana? Velalage bats a bit as well.
But look, Tikshana, for whatever it is large. I mean, he hasn't performed well, but he's one of their cornerstones. But I mean, I can't see any other thing in a Bangalore pitch to bring in a spinner first off. It's not going to be easy for anyone to bowl.
And also, there is as much as Sri Lanka is eliminated, they also have a place
Champions
Trophy, and you know it's going to come to a stage between Sri Lanka and Bangladesh probably for one spot with the way things are going. So there's a lot riding on them as well. So they will be looking and trying to do their best to get across the line against New Zealand. In terms of the 11, I think they'll try and stick to the same 11 only because you know Kusal Perera has been very, very okay through the tournament. And even the last game, he looked like he was struggling. But they just made the change. They made Karunaratne play a couple of games and they brought back Kusal Perera. I don't think they're going to go back to Karunaratne. They don't have another opener. So they'll stick there. The bowling was okay. I mean, they couldn't complain too much. The 3 fast bowlers and then the 2 spinners. So, you know, I don't think they can go too far out for any changes and they'll just stick to that.
Yep, Pakistan will be watching this game very, very closely, hoping for a washed out game or a Sri Lanka win. If you were watching our pre-show carefully, I'm sure you made note of a very, very difficult joy factor question. Let's bring it up once again. But before we do that, how about I get my experts to tell me their players to watch out for, one each?
For me tomorrow, look, I think Kushal Mendes started this tournament really well.
Yep.
I'd like him to end well. I'd really like him to end well. And I think tomorrow given what happened last time they played, you know, I think they need an enforcer. I think Lockie Ferguson is very important. Hopefully one of their fast bowlers, and I think Lockie's the one I'm going to back.
Pathum Nissanka and Kane Williamson.
Done for the day? Done for the day. Now we can bring up the joy factor question. A quick reminder of what that question was. Very complicated.
4 are linked to weather. One is about somebody who changes his original views. One is also a position in football. One refers to a big hit. So the 4 which link to weather are hurricane, heat, scorcher, and what am I missing out? Thunder.
Wow.
And of course, renegade is a person who changes his opinion, moves over to the other side. A striker is a position in football, and sixer is from cricket. Those are all teams in the men's and women's Big Bash League.
Just rattle it off very quickly. Like the guy who does that mutual funds voiceover. Mutual fund investments are subject to market risks. Please read the offer document carefully before investing. But you don't have to worry about anything else before you send in your answers. One guy or one girl got it right. In fact, a lot of them got it right. And we've picked out one lucky winner for a thumbs up from Joy. Let's bring up that name.
Soumya Ranjan Babu.
Soumya Ranjan Babu.
I haven't
well
seen
done,
this.
Babu.
Well done.
At Som Jaggernaut. Well
like
done.
It. You know where the word Jagannath comes from?
Jagannath.
It comes from the Jagannath temple, the Puri, so that once the chariot moves, it's unstoppable. That's why it's something unstoppable is called a Jaggernaut.
Extra trivia even after Joy Factor. This is like Sukha Puri from the Pani Puri wala.
Sukha Puri, the last Sukha Puri, you're right.
We're done. Dinner still left, right?
I think so.
Yeah.
I hope so.
Yeah. Because of the England bowlers, he had to keep his plate and rush into the studio. So we are done, and make sure you get your dinner as well and join us at 1:30 p.m. tomorrow on Cricbuzz Live with Joy and DK for New Zealand versus Sri Lanka. Khana garam karo, hum log aa rahe hain. Bye. Good night.